All right, so this is Chapter 4, Section 2 for IM1, writing equations in slope-intercept form. So the last section was graphing equations in slope-intercept form. So we're just kind of continuing this conversation of this type of equation, or writing it in this format. So the very first thing we have here is just kind of a review. So use y equals mx plus b, fill in the x and y with a point you are given, and m with the slope you are given. Once you have both slope and y-intercept, you can plug them back in to create your equation. So this is just an explanation of how to do this. So you're given a slope and you're given a point, but you're not given the y-intercept. So sometimes this happens. It just kind of depends on the graphics we're given. Let's see, I'm trying to find the right page here. Okay. So example, write an equation of the line that passes through 2, 1 with a slope of 3. So here's x, and I'm going to color code this. Here's y, and the slope is, we'll go with pink. Slope is 3. And I'm even going to do a line. It's not 3m. It's just the m. I'm just pointing at it. So we have mx plus b. So y, instead of writing y, we're going to write 1. Because we need to figure out what b is in order to write this equation. That's actually the purpose here. We're trying to plug in what we have to find that missing x-intercept. So this is what we do when we're given a point and a slope. We have to plug it in to kind of manipulate it around a little bit to find our missing piece. So sometimes we're not always given the pieces we're expecting, and that's something that we have to kind of get used to here. So it's mx, so we have a blank times a blank, so it's m times x, and our x in this case is 2 plus b. So we filled in our 3 pieces here. Y equals mx plus b. So now we're just going to start filling it in across, and let's see, what have I not used? Green. So we'll write the rest of this in green just so that it's kind of all in one color instead of super colorful. So we have 1 equals 3 times 2 is 6. So then if you notice, you can already see minus 6 here. So I had already started doing the equation. So I'm subtracting this 6 from both sides, so the b is all by itself. So 1 minus 6 is negative 5. 6 minus 6 cancels, and b is by itself. So this is our y-intercept. This was part of what we were looking for. We're not done. It told us to write an equation that passes through this line. So now we have to take this slope-intercept, this y-intercept, I can talk, and we have to plug it in here. So it's y equals mx plus b. If you notice, I put a minus here already because it's a negative 5. Okay? So I was just kind of front-loading that, putting it in. And then we also have to insert the slope. So the 3. This is the equation it's looking for. So on Alex, this is what you would type in. We need this piece to do this, but you're not actually going to type in b equals negative 5 anywhere. You're going to put it into the equation to show that you arrived at the correct formula here, or the correct equation. All right, slope formula. So I'm reminding you of slope formula because sometimes they'll give us the slope and the point like we just saw. But sometimes they also only give us 2 points. And we have to calculate the slope, and then we can go and plug it in along with an x and y coordinate. So it just kind of, again, depends on what they're giving us, on what method we use. So this is just a reminder on the slope formula. Remember, m is equal to the change in y's, which means the y-coordinate for point 2 minus the y-coordinate for point 1, divided by the change in x, which means the x-coordinate for point 2 minus the x-coordinate for point 1. So again, just remember the 1 and the 2 is not telling you, it's not like exponents or anything like that. It's just, it's a name. It's telling you which coordinate it's coming from, which point it's coming from, okay? Is it from point 1 or point 2? That's what it means. All right, let's look at the next page here. So we're going to write an equation of a line that passes through the point through the given point and has the given slope. So again, we're given a point and we're given a slope. So now we're going to plug it in just like we did on the notes. And I even have some pieces in here to help us kind of keep moving through. So remember, we have y. I'll color code this again, why not? Y, so that's 5, equals m. So 3, oops, I thought I chose pink there. Pink, m. And then times x. So x in this case is -2 plus b. So now I'll just go ahead and fill this out with green just like I did on the other screen. So we have 5 equals 3 times -2 is -6. I'm adding that 6 to both sides, so b will be by itself. And so I can draw a line here and go 5 plus 6 is 11. 6 minus 6 cancels, so b is 11. That is our y-intercept. So we need to plug this in to our equation down here, because remember, this isn't the answer. We need this. It's part of the answer. And then we're going to also put in our slope, because our end answer should have an x and a y in it. We're just manipulating this a little bit because we have x and y in our point, and we have m from our slope. But in the equation they're looking for, and the x and the y need to be x and y. All right? Okay, the second one, write an equation of the line that passes through each pair of points. So now we're given 2 points. So first we have to find the slope, then we can find the y-intercept, and then we can plug into the equation. So we're just given this extra step here. We have to find the slope first. So I'm going to say this is point 1. So this is x1, y1. And this is point 2. So this is x2, y2. So I'm labeling that specifically so we can fill it in just like it is here. So y2 is -8. That'll be my first piece. And then x2, and I'm doing this second points here just so that I don't have to flip between red and blue a bunch of times. So x2 is going to go underneath, and that's 4. This is right here, right above where I labeled it x2. y1 is 12, and x1 is -1. So make sure you include the -1. Just because there's a negative here, don't leave that negative off. This is part of the formula. This negative belongs to the 1. So that's important. We have to make sure we include both. So, and I've been making slope pink, so I'll do the rest of this in pink. So we have -8 minus 12, and we end up adding those terms. So make sure you add them together and keep the negative sign. So 8 plus 12 is 20, and they're both negative. I had -8, I'm going 12 more negative. And then 4, 2 negatives make a positive, and minus negative, that's 2 negatives, that's a double negative. I can hear it right after each other, minus negative. So I would add together just because 4 plus 1. Now I need to make sure I simplify because -20 can divide by 5, and I end up with -4. So here's my slope. So I had to do this work first to arrive at the same point we were here. Now I need to just choose one of the 2 points. It does not matter if I choose point 1 or point 2. This tends to be very confusing for students that I've come across that kind of get stuck here and they go, well, which one is the right point? Both of them. It doesn't matter which one you choose. Okay? I'm just going to go ahead and go with point 1 on this one. So my y is 12. And I'm doing it in red just since I labeled them that way. My m, which I just found, is -4. And my x, again, I know it's going to be labeled in red, so both x and y are labeled in red, but is -1. So remember, y equals mx plus b. I'm just filling in my pieces here. All right, I'll do this in green. So we have 12 equals -4 times -1 is 4. Oops, did I make a mistake here? I did. This shouldn't say -5, should it? it should say minus 4. Let's get rid of that. Minus 4. Minus 4. That was just an oops on my part, wasn't it? A typo there. So 4 minus 4, that cancels, and I have 12 minus 4, and that gives me 8. So B equals 8. So now I can plug it in. That's my plus B. That's my y-intercept. But in order to finish the equation, I have to have my slope in there. So this is the answer. All right, so that was section 2. I will see you in section 3.